It's the inevitable sell-off that follows years of drought. Cows and calves, the future income for many here today, being let go.
There would be people's livelihoods that are getting sold up at the moment to make way for the lack of feed and water.
Around Dalby, on Queensland's Western Downs, most of the district has been drought declared since 2014. And as the drought continues, more farmers can't keep their cattle. This pen of calves went for $10 a head. It cost the farmer $11 a head to sell them.
Hold on, $10. It's a forced sale, and it's things that unfortunately we have to do because of the weather.
Many of the cattle here today are females, destined for feedlots and abattoirs. In 2019, more than half of all cattle slaughtered in Australia were female. They're usually the last to go.
When it comes to purchasing heifers to replace them, that's when it'll start to bite.
Mick Cosgrove has been running cattle his whole life. The last few days have been particularly stressful.
As of this week, we've sold 124 breeders out of 150, and their calves, so 104 calves we sold, I think. So just sell them or smell them probably.
It takes 9 months to breed a calf, to get a calf onto the ground, and then for that calf to be a saleable item, you're looking at up to 18 months. So straight away you've got 18 months to 2 years before you just get production.
His calves are in top condition given the season, and Mick gets a good price, a few less mouths to feed. This drought is one of the worst on record, and it's seen the national herd drop to around 25 million, a level not seen since the 1990s.
This national herd's in contraction, and we're expecting the national herd to drop 5 to 6% this year on top of another 5 to 6% the previous year. So all up, and the last 2 years of this really devastating drought has been about a 10% drop in the national herd.
Back on his property northeast of Dalby, Mick Cosgrove has never seen his place look like this in his 65 years here.
Yeah, I've never seen one as dry as this. We've had dry years before, but this is the worst I've seen. And
while this week's sale has meant his herd is significantly smaller, he still has to feed them daily.
Everybody's really doing it tough. And it's not only the farmers that are doing it tough, it's the business in the town. They're all doing it very tough, and I honestly don't know. If we don't get rain till March or April next year, it's going to be a real mess, I think.
Widespread destocking saw cattle in feedlots peak at a record 1.15 million head in 2019. Another symptom of drought that'll eventually be felt down the supply chain.
The cattle prices don't always directly lead to retail prices increases, but over time these things are pretty strongly related, but they can move in different directions and with different severity. So look, all up, cattle prices might, with some widespread rainfall, react quite positively, but it's hard to say what we'll end up seeing in the retail shelves.
Local butchers are also keeping an eye on the weather.
Obviously makes the procurement of beef, lamb and other meat products harder to source. I mean, the producers are having a lot of trouble trying to feed the animals. With no rain for such a long period of time, we're in sort of uncharted territory.
The price of beef has been increasing, and John thinks that'll continue.
I'd say for the foreseeable future, next year, probably the year after, there's going to certainly be increases in the price of beef. Hopefully, it's not going to become a luxury food. There'll probably be, it's hard to say, maybe a 20% increase in the next 12 months for the price of beef, and then it could go up even higher the year after. But again, it all hinges on the drought.
Come on, come on, come on.
Mick reckons when it rains, this is God's country. Doesn't feel like it at the moment.
We can keep these cattle alive, and at least we'll have something to start with when the drought breaks. So that's basically whatever it takes, we'll keep these cattle alive, and when the rain does come, at least we still have something.